You are invited to participate in a true multimedia experience coming to a home near you. LCM TV is bringing Lake County into the new millennium with news, live broadcast, information, music, talk shows, and local programming, all streaming in high definition online and soon to be on your Roku box. Join us at lcm-tv.com or be a part of our studio audience. You can also watch the shows at lakecomagazine.com as we provide programming to inform, enlighten, and maybe even enrage you. On Lake County Magazine Talk Show with Terry and Pete the Tax Guy, Wednesday mornings at 9 a.m. Like racing? Try the Checkered Flag Show, hosted by Ace Naylor on Tuesdays at 7 p.m. All ages and divisions in regional and national fields. Joni Lane brings a positive light to you every Monday at 3 p.m. Pasha Space brings an international flair as they discuss ecological, health, and social issues in Haiti with people around the world. End up your week with positive, conscious sounds on Saturday at 9 a.m. with Sister T on the Bridge. This show is also simulcast on KMEC 105.1 FM in Ukiah. Our latest show, LCM TV News, is brought to you live Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at noon, and rebroadcast at 6:30 p.m. and noon daily, Tuesday, Saturday, and Sunday, featuring national, regional, and local news, weather, and sports. We have it all here for you on your local TV station, LCM TV. Join us online and soon on Roku, giving you access to all the best Lake County has to offer. We are LCMTV.com, your multimedia connection. Tune in for the fun. It's live TV at its best.
This is LCM TV News at Noon. I'm Pete Schiffman. Starting off with national and international news, the death toll rose today in Nepal, pushing towards 6,000. There were two miracles, however, as a 15-year-old boy was rescued from a 7-story building that had collapsed on him 5 days ago by rescue crews from Fairfax, Virginia. And a 20-year-old woman was dug out from another location. Relief supplies have been making their way to the most hard-hit areas, but not fast enough for the tens of thousands without food, water, shelter, and clothing. The Red Cross is taking donations at redcross.org. The Natural Resources Defense Council is also on the ground and taking donations, and you can help on a local level by sending food and medical supplies to the hardest hit areas through the Volunteering in Nepal Facebook page and the Natural Resource Defense Council Pokhara, Nepal. Sign up there to help and track progress. Australia closed their consulate in Jakarta and removed all personnel back to Australia after the execution of 2 Australian nationals, part of the Bali Nine, who had been convicted of attempting to smuggle 18 pounds of heroin into Australia. Tipped off by the Australian Federal Police, the nationals were part of a second group of internationals convicted in this crime to be executed. The first round was in January. The Indonesian ambassador to Australia offered his condolences on behalf of the Indonesian government to the families of the 2 Australians his government shot. The act has created huge repercussions as Australian businesses and investors are pulling out of Indonesia, and tourists are vowing to boycott the nation in response to the act. U.S. Navy ships will begin to accompany U.S.-flagged commercial ships as they travel the Strait of Hormuz, a defense official confirmed, as Iran seized a cargo ship. In a clear response to that incident, a defense official said the U.S. Navy will now accompany all U.S. flagships going through the area. The move is the latest development in a high-stakes chess match in the region, with the Iran nuclear talks continuing to play out in the background. Messenger, NASA's Mercury orbiting spacecraft, reached the end of its historic 11-year mission Thursday when it crashed into the little planet closest to the Sun. The spacecraft, which was out of fuel, slipped out of orbit and slammed into Mercury at 3:26 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, according to the mission controllers at the Johns Hopkins University Applied Physics Laboratory. Messenger made history in March 2011 when it became the first probe to orbit Mercury. The crash ended a successful mission for Messenger which was launched in August 2004. Baltimore police have finished their investigation into how the young man suffered a fatal spinal injury while in police custody and have handed their findings off to prosecutors, officials said Thursday. The announcement opens a new phase as the focus shifts to the new, relatively untested state attorney for Baltimore, Marilyn J. Mosby. Her office will fold the police findings into its own investigation. This morning, Baltimore's chief prosecutor charged 6 police officers with crimes, including murder and manslaughter, in the arrest and fatal injury of Freddie Gray. A former ally of New Jersey Governor Chris Christie pleaded guilty today to criminal charges related to the George Washington Bridge closure scandal, delivering another blow to Christie's image at a time when he is trying to get his presidential campaign off the ground. David Wildstein, who has been a senior Christie appointee to the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey, pleaded guilty to 2 counts of conspiracy at a U.S. District Court in Newark. He was released on his own recognizance on a $100,000 bond. The judge in the case cited his cooperation with prosecutors for the release term. Sentencing is set for August. The Obama administration was moving toward a history-making end to the federal death penalty last year. At the Justice Department, a proposal soon began to take shape among Mr. Holder and his senior officials. The administration could declare a formal moratorium on the federal death penalty because medical experts could not guarantee that the lethal drugs used did not cause terrible suffering. Such a declaration would have pressured states to do the same, the officials reasoned, and would bolster the legal argument that the death penalty is unconstitutionally cruel punishment. However, Mr. Obama has seldom mentioned the death penalty review since. Now, as the Supreme Court considered arguments Wednesday over whether lethal injection, as currently administered, was unconstitutional, the obstacles the Obama administration faced provide vivid examples of just how politically difficult the debate remains, and it's unlikely anything is going to change. Aides to former President Bill Clinton helped start a Canadian charity that effectively shielded the identities of donors who gave more than $33 million that went to his foundation, despite a pledge of transparency when Hillary Rodham Clinton became Secretary of State. The nonprofit, the Clinton Giestra Enterprise Partnership, based in Canada, operates in parallel to a Clinton Foundation project called the Clinton Giestra Enterprise Partnership, which is expressly covered by an agreement Mrs. Clinton signed to make all donors public while she led the State Department. However, the foundation maintains that the Canadian partnership is not bound by that agreement and that under Canadian law, contributors' names cannot be made public. The foundation cited that restriction last weekend in explaining why it did not disclose the $2.35 million in donations from the chairman of Uranium One, a uranium extraction corporation owned by the Russian state company Rosatom. Goldman Sachs became the first major bank to give a vote of confidence to the virtual currency Bitcoin by announcing late Wednesday that it made a significant investment in Bitcoin-focused company. Bitcoin's reputation has taken a hit as criminal activity has been linked to the virtual currency, including the recent arrests here in the Bay Area. But major financial institutions have been closely examining the opportunities offered by the technology. The American economy barely grew during the first 3 months of the year, but the Federal Reserve said Wednesday that expected growth to rebound, suggesting that it intends to start raising its benchmark interest rate this year. Despite the Fed's optimism, a number of Wall Street forecasters cut their estimates for second quarter growth as they concluded that the weakness caused in part by cold weather, but also by cautious consumers and the strength of the dollar could linger. Paperwork for refunds for unwanted charges on your monthly AT&T bills must be filed today, May 1st, under a settlement between AT&T and the Federal Trade Commission. The goal of the deal is to reimburse customers hundreds of millions of dollars in charges for subscriptions that came from other companies. These unwanted subscriptions were for things such as ringtones and text messages that combined horoscopes, love tips, and so-called fun facts. The practice is known in the industry as cramming and happens when mobile carriers allow third-party companies to charge customers for services without the knowledge or consent of a subscriber. The FTC has been aggressive in going after companies involved in these scams. AT&T settled its case with the FTC for $105 million in October. In December, T-Mobile reached a $90 million settlement with the FTC for cramming, and its customers have until June 30th to apply for a refund. Verizon and Sprint are still negotiating a settlement with the Commission over similar allegations. Coming up next is our regional news, and we'll be back in a moment.
SSS Multimedia is sending you smoke signals, providing their clients with the ultimate communication and multimedia marketing, distribution, production, and web-based services. They feature high-def video equipment and quality audio sound. SSS is your multimedia source, from graphics for business cards to television production, radio, live sound, and everything in between. SSS is sending you smoke signals. Get your message out with SSS Multimedia. For more information, call 707-701-6416 or email info@sssmultimedia.com.
Welcome back. In regional news, the Port of Oakland has scheduled an 8-hour closure beginning today. They put the word out to truckers and customers that they'll be on temporary lockdown and some shipments may be delayed. The last time protesters successfully shut down the port was in 2011 at the height of the Occupy movement, when thousands of marchers took over the Adeline Street Bridge and disrupted shipping, traffic in and out of the port. This time, a protest is being led by the International Longshore and Warehouse Union, ILWU, Local 10, and promoted on the extant Occupy website in solidarity with the Black Lives Matter cause. As union organizer Stacey Roger tells ABC7, the killing of Walter Scott in South Carolina especially hits home for the union because Scott had family members who were Longshore Union members. Our families are affected by the killings, Roger says. Some of our family members in our own local are victims of police brutality and killings. More protests are planned throughout the day from different groups. One is planning a march from the port to City Hall. Governor Jerry Brown issued an executive order Wednesday, sharply speeding up this state's already ambitious program aimed at curbing greenhouse gas emissions, saying it was critical to address an ever-growing threat posed by global warmings to the state's economy and well-being. The order, announced early Wednesday morning, was intended as a jolt to the 2006 environmental law requiring an 80% cut in greenhouse gas reductions by 2050. Under Mr. Brown's order, the state would have to get halfway there, a 40% reduction, by 2030. A study by the consulting firm Energy and Environmental Economics and Lawrence Berkeley National Laboratory said to cut emissions 26% to 38% by 2030, California would have to double the amount of energy efficiency in buildings and industry, ensure that 50% to 60% of electricity was from renewable sources such as wind, and oversee a sharp increase in the number of hybrid and zero-emission cars. The United States Postal Service in changing its 911 policy for postal service facilities across the nation. The move was prompted by an NBC Bay Area investigation that exposed critical delays in a life and death situation that may have been caused by confusing and outdated rules that govern what to do during medical emergencies. Last August, Bay Area Postal Service worker Sam Makasib died after suffering from a head injury at work in a protocol environment that denied co-workers the inability to call 911 in an emergency. Workers are now being told to call 911 first. Elon Musk, Tesla's chief executive, announced yesterday evening that 2 new battery products at a news event in Los Angeles. One battery will be for home use and the other will be for utility companies. By storing energy generated by solar panels, the batteries may solve one of the biggest problems of the emerging boom in solar use, finding a way to use power when the sun is not shining. The average cost of gas in California is up 34 cents in a week due to problems at state refineries and a national rebound in crude prices. The average cost for a gallon of regular gasoline in California was $3.53 on Thursday, up from $3.20 the week before. Prices are still below last year, however, when the average cost per gallon was $4.26. A bottled water company in California, owned by Starbucks, is selling water from private springs in central California's Placer County, in addition to using local Merced water at its factory. Both geographical areas are experiencing exceptional drought conditions, according to federal authorities. Starbucks bought Ethos Water, an enterprise that gives a nickel of every $1.95 bottle sold to water charity projects around the world in 2005. Ethos has reportedly raised around $12.3 million for water charity projects to date. Locals say they are irritated that Starbucks is tapping into the area's scarce water resources during the drought, which is water they could use for farming and drinking. The American Lung Association says that the drought is taking a toll on California's air quality. California's Central Valley, from Fresno to Madera, was the most polluted region in the nation because of the changing climate and drought, they say. Low levels of precipitation can trap fine particles of pollution close to the ground, contributing to asthma attacks and hospitalizations for respiratory disease. Drought conditions can also cause hotter weather, which increases levels of ozone or smog in the air. Bakersfield was ranked second worst. Lake County scored highest in the nation for air quality for the 3rd year in a row, despite the drought. A group that wants to see California become an autonomous region of the United States, similar to Scotland is in the United Kingdom, is considering writing an initiative for the 2016 ballot. The group cites issues such as unconstitutionality of the Patriot Act, unconstitutionality of the Patriot Act, the development police state, and Citizens United that gives corporations free speech like individuals. They say that California is currently a donor state, which means it pays more than federal taxes than it receives in federal funding. And this would allow California to put Californians first. The initiative would create a panel of government officials and private experts to explore establishing California's autonomy from the United States. It would result in likely state costs of hundreds of thousands of dollars annually, according to an estimate prepared by the Legislative Analysis Office and Department of Finance. Valid signatures from 365,880 registered voters, 5% of the total votes cast for governor in the 2014 general election, must be submitted by October 26 to qualify the measure for the November 2016 ballot, according to Padilla. If California were to receive autonomy, it would remain part of the U.S. and its residents would continue to hold U.S. passports, use the U.S. dollar, and host and serve in the U.S. military, Marinella said. The state would assume control over its own trade, immigration, health care, education, and other areas of domestic concern, he said. California's Yosemite National Park Half Dome Trail will open this weekend, 3 weeks ahead of schedule. In past years, snow would still be covering the granite top at this date because it is north-facing. However, this year, because of the drought, snow is no longer a problem, so hikers with permits may begin scaling Half Dome this Sunday. Next up is the local news, and we'll be back in a moment.
The taxman's taken off. and left me in my stately home, blazing on a sunny afternoon. And I can't sail my yacht, he's taken everything I got. All I've got's this sunny afternoon.
Manticorp Tax and Accounting can help you minimize taxation, establish a corporate presence, and save you money. Our over 25 years of experience in domestic and international taxation and incorporation services makes us the best at what we do. Your first consultation at Manticorp is always free, and our discounted rates guarantee you will not end up paying for what you don't get. Try Manticorp today. For more information, call 707-701-6416 or email info@manticorpusa.com.
In local news, a fatal vehicle accident early yesterday morning resulted in the death of a 24-year-old Lakeport man and a power outage in Clear Lake Oaks. At about 1 a.m., the driver of a 1997 Ford Explorer was traveling at a high rate of speed on Highway 20 at Schindler Street when he lost control of his vehicle and drifted off the north edge of the road onto the dirt shoulder, according to Officer Jay Jensen of the CHP. The front end of the vehicle struck a posted speed limit sign, the vehicle continued toward the northwest, and the driver's side door struck a power pole, shearing it off at the base. The vehicle overturned, striking a chain-link fence, coming to rest on its roof. His aunt posted on his Facebook page, he was soft-spoken and bright. He just got a promotion at work. He was the best uncle to his nieces and loved his family. His best friend was his sister, Amanda. He dreamed of opening a candy store one day. He loved to make candy. On the scanner, there was a motorcycle crash at the Y and a possible drowning at Highlands Park. 3 people were detained at gunpoint after they were found in a stolen vehicle at Kitts Corner this morning at 1:15 a.m. Sutter Lake Hospital in Lakeport is holding a fundraising drive to purchase a new 3D mammography screening system. So far, they have raised $35,000 and are aiming for $264,000. The system is able to detect breast cancer earlier than current technology, which will allow earlier treatment of patients. The new testing system is also more comfortable and uses less radiation. Those interested in helping with the drive should contact Tiffany Ortega at ortegat@sutterhealth.org or call 262-5016. This weekend, Lake County's Red Bud Audubon Society is sponsoring Heron Days on Clear Lake. Participants will be able to view bird and animal life from a pontoon boat, led by an Audubon volunteer who will identify the variety of bird life on Clear Lake. On Saturday, boats will leave from Lakeside County Park near Kelseyville, and on Sunday, boats will leave from Red Bud Park in Clear Lake. Attendees can expect to see nesting great blue herons, western grebes, and Clark's grebes, along with other waterfowl and songbirds. The boat trips are 1/2 hour long and cost $25 per person. Tickets are available at www.redbudaudubon.org. The Middletown Arts Center, commonly known MAC, is pleased to invite the public to attend its second opening reception, Innovative Landscapes, on Saturday, May 9th from 6 to 8 p.m. The group shows features work by 14 local and regional artists that stretch the tradition of landscape to include innovations in format, medium, technology, process, concept, or vision. Functional ceramic, glass, and metal pieces by local artists are also on view. MAC is centrally located at the junction of Highway 29 and 175 in Middletown at 21456 State Highway 175. MAC is open Thursday through Saturday from 12 to 6 p.m. and Sunday from 12:30 to 5 p.m. To learn more about classes and events, and to become a member or to support MAC with a donation, please visit www.middletownartscenter.org or call 809-8118. Clear Lake High School senior Christopher Vincent, a finalist for Elks Foundation scholarship money, received $20,000 for his accomplishments. He is only the second student from Northern California District in 35 years to achieve this award. In addition to good grades, Vincent achieved a nearly perfect score on the SATs, is an athlete, actor, and an officer in 2 school clubs. Next year, he will be attending the University of California, Los Angeles, where he will study aerospace engineering. Both Middletown's Lindy Jones and Kelseyville's Blair Brooks received scholarships from the Clear Lake Trowel and Trellis Garden Club. The scholarship will help them continue their university studies in an agriculture-horticulture-related field. Jones attends Chico State University and is majoring in agricultural science and crop science. She hopes to become an agricultural pest control advisor. Brooks attends California Polytechnic University in San Luis Obispo and is majoring in agribusiness. She plans to attend law school to work in agricultural policy. The UC Master Gardeners of Lake County will hold their 3rd annual Spring Garden event on Sunday from 10 to 3 at the Agricultural Center in Lakeport. Featured will be demonstrations on seed starting and saving, transplanting, irrigation, and raised beds. Vegetables, flowers, and drought-resistant plants grown by UC Master Gardeners for the Lake County climate will be offered for sale. The Agricultural Center is located at 883 Lakeport Boulevard in Lakeport. Coming up next is sports and weather. We'll be right back.
You are invited to participate in a true multimedia experience coming to a home near you. LCM TV is bringing Lake County into the new millennium with news, live broadcast, information, music, talk shows, and local programming, all streaming in high definition online and soon to be on your Roku box. Join us at lcm-tv.com or be a part of our studio audience. You can also watch the shows at lakecomagazine.com as we provide programming to inform, enlighten, and maybe even enrage you. On Lake County Magazine Talk Show with Terry and Pete the Tax Guy, Wednesday mornings at 9 a.m. Like racing? Try the Checkered Flag Show, hosted by Ace Naylor on Tuesdays at 7 p.m. All ages and divisions in regional and national fields. Joni Lane brings a positive light to you every Monday at 3 p.m. Pasha Space brings an international flair as they discuss ecological, health, and social issues in Haiti with people around the world. End up your week with positive, conscious sounds on Saturday at 9 a.m. with Sister T on the Bridge. This show is also simulcast on KMEC 105.1 FM in Ukiah. Our latest show, LCM TV News, is brought to you live Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at noon, and rebroadcast at 6:30 p.m. and noon daily, Tuesday, Saturday, and Sunday, featuring national, regional, and local news, weather, and sports. We have it all here for you on your local TV station, LCM TV. Join us online and soon on Roku, giving you access to all the best Lake County has to offer. We are LCMTV.com, your multimedia connection. Tune in for the fun. It's live TV at its best.
Welcome back, folks. On a side note to the story about the young man that was killed in that vehicle accident yesterday morning, we'd like to mention his name was Anthony Estrella, and our thoughts go out to his family. With weather, no rain is in the near forecast. Friday will be sunny with a high of 88, with winds coming out of the east-southeast shifting to the south-southwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Tonight will be clear with lows around 55. Winds will be again from the southwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Saturday will bring us a mainly sunny sky with a high of 84. Winds in the day and evening from the southwest at 10 to 15 miles an hour. In the evening, there will be clear skies with a low of 51. Sunday provides a mainly sunny sky with a high of 82. Winds from the southwest are 10 to 15 miles per hour. The evening will be clear with a low around 50. Winds will be slower at 5 to 10 miles per hour. On Monday, we'll have a mainly sunny sky with a high of 82. Winds from the southwest at 10 to 15 miles an hour. In sports, the Oakland A's had a rare midweek afternoon game facing the LA Angels yesterday. The Angels had a 5-0 lead after 6 innings and a 6-2 lead with the A's coming to bat in the bottom of the 9th inning. The A's then scored 3 runs, bringing the score to 65. 6-5. Ike Davis came to bat with the bases loaded and hit a monster fly to dead center, but Mike Trout of the Angels made a tremendous catch for the 3rd out. The A's lost for the 6th time in 7 games to fall to 9-14 and matched their worst home start in Oakland history at 4-9. The San Francisco Giants had the day off on Thursday, but on Wednesday faced the LA Dodgers in Los Angeles. It was not a good day for the Giants as starting pitcher Ryan Fogelsong gave up 6 earned runs, including 4 home runs, in just 3 innings. Zach Greinke for the Dodgers got the win, giving up only 3 runs in 6 innings. The loss put the Giants 4.5 games behind the first-place Dodgers. The Giants are back in action today, facing the Los Angeles Angels in interleague play. The National Football League is holding its annual draft. The first round was held yesterday, with the second and third round being held today. In the first round, the San Francisco 49ers traded their 15th selection to the San Diego Chargers, who then selected running back Melvin Gordon from Georgia University. The 49ers in return received San Diego's 17th pick, their 4th pick, and the 2016 5th-round pick. With their first-round pick, they selected Arik Armstead, a defensive end from Oregon. As expected, the Tampa Bay Bucks, with the number 1 pick in the draft, selected Jameis Winston, a quarterback from Florida State. With the 2nd pick in the draft, the Titans selected Marcus Mariota, a quarterback from Oregon. Both quarterbacks were predicted to be the number 1 and 2 selections in the draft. The Oakland Raiders, who had the 4th pick overall, selected Amari Cooper, a wide receiver from Alabama. The Raiders passed on Leonard Williams from Southern Cal, who was a dominant defensive tackle during his college days. The Raiders staff stated that Amari Cooper will be a welcome addition to the team and will be an impact player for quarterback Derek Carr, who made tremendous improvement in his rookie season. The second round of the draft will be held today. On what might have been a perfect spring afternoon to sit with a beer and a hot dog and watch baseball, it was eerily empty yesterday as the Baltimore Orioles and the Chicago White Sox competed in what was believed to be the first Major League game played without spectators. Except for the 2 scouts sitting behind home plate and a press box full of reporters, the 45,971 seats and 3 decks at Camden Yards were an empty expanse of green when the first pitch was thrown at 2:06 p.m. in what became an 8-2 Orioles victory. Thank you for joining us. If you want to keep up to date with what is happening on the scanner, go to our Facebook page, LC Scanner Updates. Share our pages with your friends. We can be found at Lake County Magazine and LCM TV. An archive of this show is available at lakecomagazine.com, where you can read more about the stories we have brought to you today. I am Pete Schiffman. Have a great day.